So I did the cardinal sin yesterday. It got to 94 minutes in this game. It's 1-1. 90 minutes plus 4 minutes. And that was all we were getting. It was on the 94th minute. I turned the game off. I just thought, you know what, it's 1-1. They've thrown these points away, this opportunity away. Unbelievable. I had really consigned myself to thinking that this game was completely over. There was nothing more. It's like, I didn't even see us get given the corner. What happened was, and I'll tell you straight, I was watching it on a stream because, I'm not made of money. So that it is what it is. So I was watching it, and I turned it off, and then I was getting ready to pretty much head up to bed, get sorted for that sort of stuff, sort my bag out and all that sort of business. Anyway, I think I'd got off the couch, or I got off the wherever I was sitting, and a notification came up, 2-1 Liverpool, and I looked at it. I didn't have a goal scorer's name next to it, and I was like, what? And then I'm thinking, well, has there been a mistake or something like that, or is there going to be a VAR or something like that? So I sat back down, I put the stream on. We'd just been given a corner. They're setting up for the corner. ALISSON is making his way up and didn't really think anything of it because that's just what, it's last minute of a game. Goalkeeper comes up, doesn't really do much, doesn't make an impact, and is just kind of there to be a bit of a threat. That's what normally happens. I cannot believe I almost missed that. I almost missed watching that goal. I couldn't believe it. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. Could not believe what I've watched it double-digit amount of times since. Like right after the game, I was watching it a lot, and I couldn't believe it actually hit the back of the net. It wasn't just like a fluke. It was like ALISSON was the one that was being aimed at by Trent Alexander-Arnold. ALISSON was the focal point at 6'3". Quite clearly, he wasn't West Brom's focal point. With no one around him, ALISSON made a move in that box, got himself in position, and all the West Brom players just went, yeah, go on. No one marked him. No one really even marked Nat Phillips, but he wasn't in a good position. And then this goal goes in. I can only imagine what that would have been like if we'd have had fans in the ground for it. Excuse me. I really do. I cannot believe what that would be like. 6 goalkeepers have scored in the Premier League since the Premier League began. ALISSON is the first goalkeeper to score a winning goal. A winning goal. I cannot believe it. I absolutely cannot believe it. Games that I was really worried about. Manchester United, West Brom, and the next one, Burnley. I am worried about Crystal Palace. Not as much as I am about those. We've ticked 2 boxes already. Manchester United and now West Brom. And we've also made Sam Allardyce exceptionally angry. But to be fair, we will come to that and why he is angry in this next part of the video. But incredible fight. Incredible, the will to not ever give in. Never give in. That was the famous t-shirt, I think it was, that Salah wore while he was injured and we were having to go and play the second leg against Barcelona. Never give up or never give in, whatever it was. We haven't seen a lot of that this season from Liverpool, where it's never give up. Don't give in, don't give up, anything like that. This game epitomised it. Is it lucky? It's 50-50. It looks great, doesn't it? Trent Alexander-Arnold, we know his ability on the ball. ALISSON, knew nothing about him. I don't know anything about him in terms of the box. Some people say that when he was growing up and when he was starting to play football, that he was a striker when he was younger. Whether that means anything these days with, I think he's 26, 27, 28. Don't think it really matters a great deal, but he got himself in a good position, got himself in the exact right, perfect position. And as I've said to people already, that header from ALISSON was like prime Alan Shearer. If you had the privilege of watching Alan Shearer play football and becoming the Premier League's top goal scorer, Alan Shearer could score a header like that. You wouldn't expect it from a goalkeeper. So incredible. incredible. Now, we're going to talk about the whole game as a whole. I felt first half we weren't very good. And I think a lot of people would turn around and say that as well. Like, just either by chances that we were creating, which was, we were creating chances, but they weren't great quality chances in my opinion, anyway. A lot of it was like, it was going to be based off luck, if anything like that. West Brom deservedly went 1-0 up. You know, yes, they had lower possession than us. Possession doesn't win you games, goals do. But they were, whenever they had the ball, whenever they got the ball off us and were breaking on us, the chances that they were creating as a whole team and a unit were better than ours at that point in the game. They were just frustrating to play through, which we knew. It's a Sam Allardyce team. We know exactly what you're going to get. But the chance creation that they were having and the quality of their chances was higher than ours at that point. We might have had more possession, but they were getting the better quality chances. Now, their goal goes in. I think it's a mix-up between, not a mix-up so much, but I think it was either, I cannot remember whether it was Reece on that side or Nat Phillips, or whether Nat got drawn over and a space opened. And it was kind of like, Salah against Dean Henderson. All he had to do was put it on his left and put it into the bottom corner. It's exactly what he did. And when you're thinking of like what time that actually went in the game, within the first 15 minutes of the game, you're not feeling too great. You're really not feeling too great. You're not thinking, Jesus, is it really going to be this game that actually gets us out of Champions League contention, or takes it out of our hands at least? We come on to later on in the half, 33 minutes, the ball is around the box. Sadio Mane looks like he's going to, I don't know, I think the ball fell to Mane. It was like he'd sort of passed it, or it had more bounced off him into the path of Salah. And Salah, just as if he was coiled up and pulled back, just literally bang. First time, didn't look like he really thought about it, didn't really look at the goal. Just first time, looked at the ball, wrapped his foot around it, and it just went into the back of the net. And it was a great goal. A fantastic goal. And I think that goal, does it take Salah onto like 31 goals this season or something like that? Maybe takes him either level or a little bit above Harry Kane. Salah deserves so much respect, and sometimes he gets so much slating, undeserved, because he's absolutely phenomenal and consistent in terms of his goal scoring. Fantastic from Salah. Really, really great goal, and I enjoyed that a great deal. We moved into half time. Our first change, we only made 2 changes. Shaqiri we took out Curtis Jones. I should have gone through the lineup first of all. The lineup was, so Jota is going to be missing for the rest of the season. Doesn't sound that long because we've only got 2 games left after this one. But he's not. He apparently picked up a foot injury against Manchester United. Won't play again this season, which sucks. It really, really sucks. Not because of anything Mane does, but at the moment, Jota is just the much more potent guy in front of goal. The guy up front with Bobby Firmino, Mo Salah, he is the one that seems to be a little bit more electric, seems to be a bit more active in and around the box, just seems to have a bit more about him at this moment in time. To be honest with you, I was speaking about this with a friend of mine, someone that I work with, and he's a Liverpool fan as well. And he was saying, man, Mane's just not at it this year. And I was like, well, up until Christmas, like once we, when we had those, up until Christmas, I would have said that Mane was one of our better attackers at that point as well. We were looking quite good in attack. After January, as well as the whole team, Mane's performances went down as well. It's not that he hasn't contributed, it's just we know what we see from Mane over the years while he's been with us. And he's just not that same Mane this year. And I said to him, you know what? I said, without being harsh or anything, and I don't think it is harsh, I would say after this Premier League season is done, if he gets the chance to, that man needs a rest. That man needs a physical rest and a mental reset if it is possible. Because I think he's just been so on the go all season. and all last season as well. And between seasons, there wasn't a great amount of time. There wasn't really the greatest amount of time for downtime to really, de-energize, recharge and come back and reset and be, fit and firing for a whole season. That's what we've gotten from Mane and Salah, both of them, is a great deal of consistency. And I think with Mane, I think that man just, whether he would like to or not, that man just needs a rest. I think he just needs a massive, massive rest. Go and do things with his family or whatever he would like to do, in his downtime. Whether he gets much or not, I'm not entirely sure. Because then he's got a hectic schedule ahead of next year, not just playing with us, but also with Senegal in the African Cup of Nations and stuff like that as well. It's going to be really, really busy and trying year as well. And to also, Mane got the assist. Whether people want to accept that it's an assist, it goes down on record. He got an assist for Salah as well. So, so the rest of the lineup was, we had Firmino, Salah, Mane, Curtis Jones, Fabinho, Thiago, who played really, really well. Andy Robertson, Reece Williams, Nat Phillips, Trent, and Alisson, obviously, as well. And then we only made two substitutions. So Shaqiri came on for Curtis Jones in like the 60th minute, around that sort of area. They made all of their changes between 73 minutes and 82. We brought on Gini Wijnaldum for Reece Williams, which I can't really... I can only assume that Fabinho must have... I don't really know. I think we were just trying to go for it in some sort of way, and we might have done that a little bit, but Gini Wijnaldum is coming in for some criticism, obviously for the last moments of the game, in that he looked disinterested in celebrating the goal. Listen, people deal with things in different ways. I'm not holding it against him that he didn't go over and join everybody else in crowding around Alisson. Does it show that maybe his head's somewhere else? Maybe. It's only natural. His head might be turned. What can you... He's only human after all, as the song would say. I didn't mean to quote that. But, I don't hold it against him. At the end of the day, I think he did go over and congratulate Alisson as well. I don't read too much into it. It is what it is. Obviously, Wijnaldum's come on. Now, if I go and look at the lineup and I'm looking at it and I see, all right, we've got Origi that's on the bench, could have come on, but the rest of it is kind of like inexperienced. Nico Williams probably the most experienced after Origi and Shaqiri and Adrian. The rest of it was Tsimikas, Nico Williams, Billy Koumetio, Leighton Clarkson and Ben Woodburn as well, who hasn't featured for Liverpool God knows how long it was as well. So really not the greatest depth of options from the bench. Probably the most prominent one would be Origi, you would think. But obviously he didn't choose that option. And you may be thinking, coming into the last couple of minutes, you could choose that option if you wanted to. You've got 3 subs, you can do that. But he chose not to. And if we're being completely honest as well, before all of this, before the 2-1, West Brom had a goal ruled out. And I can only assume, I think the explanation that I've seen is that whoever it was, I can't remember, because it didn't even go to VAR, I don't think. I don't think it did, from what I remember. But whoever was stood in front of the guy who headed it in for West Brom was stood right in front of Alisson. But I've seen those given this season. I've seen them given where it's like, say someone is in front of the goalkeeper, or maybe like being a bit in front of them, or whatever. You've seen them given. You've also seen them taken away. So it has happened this season. I think it was a little bit harsh on West Brom, if I'm being completely honest, but it went in our favour, so I didn't really care, because it meant that we didn't go 2-1 down, and that's just how I feel about it. We then come into the last moments, and it's bad of me as a Liverpool fan. I'd lost faith and thought, man, a last minute, I didn't even see the corner get given. I didn't even see it that far. I turned it off. And I think I was just fed up. I was thinking, this is just typical. Like, we're going to miss out on maybe top 4 or a Champions League place, because, West Brom are a difficult team for us. They might get beat by other teams 5-0, 6-0, whatever it might be. But for us, they are a difficult team. And they always, a Sam Allardyce team generally is pretty difficult for us. It always has been. And he's a difficult manager to come up against. To then turn it back on right in time Trent Alexander-Arnold is walking up to take that corner, and it wasn't corner taken quickly. That was very well thought out. This is just, patience, time, waiting for Alisson to get into the box. I don't know if this is something they've ever practiced. Jurgen Klopp claims he's never seen anything like it before. But just pinpoint. Alisson barely had to move for the cross, which shows just how good Trent Alexander-Arnold's delivery actually is. It was right there for Alisson. Just right there. All he had to do, he just had to watch the ball come in, get his positioning a little bit right, jumps in the air, and the rest, it's not history yet. But that's up there with goal of the season for me personally. I don't care. Like, yes, I know it's not part of the Premier League season, but that goal Tielemans scored for Leicester in the FA Cup final, unbelievable banger, absolutely incredible. But this just means so much to us, and obviously it means so much to Alisson with what he's dealt with this year. He's dealt with injury, but the worst thing of all, from touch wood, because I've not lost my parents yet, and it's going to be a horrible time whenever it happens. But to lose his father the way that his dad went, and if you don't know, go look it up. I'm not going to talk about that. To lose his father, barely take any time off from Liverpool duty. I don't think he could go back to Brazil at that time either, to really go over there and be with his family, obviously because of restrictions and such like that. Unbelievable. What a man. What a team. And what a silly man I am. Always believe. You just never know. Always believe. Do not turn it off. Keep watching it, because you just don't know what can happen. And that's one of the absolutely most fantastic things I've seen in a long, long time. Unbelievable stuff. Now, what happens now? Other teams are going to start playing again Wednesday, the 19th of May. Burnley versus Liverpool. We are away to Burnley. Now, I think between then, on Tuesday night at 8:15, 18th of May, Chelsea play Leicester. Chelsea are at home. Chelsea are just above us by 1 point. Leicester are above us by 3 points. I think what the key principal thing here is, whatever happens in this game, if they draw, Leicester go to 66, Chelsea go to 65. We've still then got 2 games to play. They will only have 1 game to play after that. So if they draw, Chelsea could then only get a maximum of 68 points. Leicester could get a maximum of 70, I think. So 70, they would be, uncatchable to us. If Leicester go on and lose, then the maximum they can get is 69 points, which is the maximum amount of points that we can get. And then it would come down to goal difference and all those lovely things there as well. If Chelsea go on and win... Sorry, I think have I just said that? If Chelsea go on and win... No. Yeah, if Leicester win against Chelsea, then the maximum points that Chelsea can get is 67, which we are not far away from as it is right now. All these things point towards top 4, still currently, somehow, it's in our hands. And I'm just hoping, whatever happens, I'm hoping that Leicester beat Chelsea, because that would just make it a bit better for us. But we've still got work to do, got loads of work to do. We've still got Burnley, difficult team to play, and then we've got Crystal Palace, who actually looked decent at the weekend as well. I think they won their game 3-2 against Aston Villa as well. And Chelsea's last game of the season is against Aston Villa. You don't know how they're going to turn up. And Leicester's last game is against Tottenham as well. So we don't know how they're going to turn up. Tottenham seems to be doing a little bit better at the moment, but you can't rely on other teams to beat other teams. We've just got to go do our job and just see what happens now. Just got to see what happens. But I am absolutely buzzing beyond belief that we managed to get that victory. It just puts us in a little bit of a, you know, not completely better, not completely safe or anything like that, but it just makes things just a little bit, you know, easier to digest when you've won a game instead of drawing a game or anything like that, especially one that we definitely needed to win as well. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here for now. This video, I have droned on at you for much too long anyway, but thank you ever so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please feel free to like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you once again. Do take care of yourselves. Have a good week, and I'll catch you later.